Bonjour, everyone. Hi, this is Neshi Lokotz. Welcome to Star Nation's organization and also the radio network live stream shows. And you are watching the Mystery School. And tonight is Thursday, February 28th. Can you believe that? The last day of February. Went by really fast, didn't it? So tonight's show is all about the earth and the sun. And co-hosts, we got Carl Franklin here. And hey, just a minute. There he is. Hello, Carl.
Hello, Neshi. Hello, everyone. And I'm sorry Ortrun usually joins us, but she's picked up that crud. I have too, but I think I'm not maybe as bad as she is. So she's not going to be with us tonight. But you can send her some healing energy if you would.
That'd be nice. I'm just going to let everybody know that we're the Mystery School. There we go. There you go. That way when people are joining us, they'll know. So, Carl, tonight's all about the earth and the sun. And kind of like how the ancients viewed it, and more importantly, what are the changes that have occurred and how they're affecting us today, right? But I was thinking, we were talking earlier, and you were talking about maybe doing a meditation for us right away. Would you like to do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay, everyone, please make yourself as comfortable as you can. And close your eyes. And focus your attention on your breathing. As you're inhaling, picture your lungs being filled with light, with love and peace. And as you exhale, picture all distractions, anything negative, all blockages going out with the breath. And then you inhale more light, more love, more peace. And in the lungs, the blood's picking this up and running it throughout your body. And you, with your exhale, all that is not for your highest good is being expelled from you. And it's going out and it's going into a ball of light, and it's being transmuted into its positive opposite. With each breath, you're going deeper and deeper. With each breath, you're becoming clearer. Energy can flow in. Your chakras are opening wide, all of them. And with each breath, your heart and mind are joining together, creating your heart mind. And with each breath, you're going deeper and deeper into a beautiful state of peace. In this state of peace, I want you to look deeply, not only within yourself, but about yourself, around you. And if you can, sense the energy, sense the presence of your soul. Your soul is not only within you, but it's also around you, so that it can fully sense and experience everything that is there to experience in the environment, as well as everything that's happening within you. Invite your soul to move into your conscious and subconscious minds, to become one with you in a way that you are consciously aware of it. And now, again, focusing your attention just outside of your body in the room you're in. Sense the presence of your angels, your heavenly guides, the higher aspects of yourself, your teachers. These are the ones that make up your spirit family. They are the ones that help keep you on your life script. They are the ones that answer your prayers. Sense their presence with your arms and with your mind and with your heart. Embrace them. Thank them for all they have done. And now feel their energy, their presence. the tremendous love that they have for you, the respect they have for you. You are their teacher. Most of them have never ever had a physical body. And through you, by observing you, they are learning about humans, about physicality, about sexuality, about everything that we experience here. Most of it is all new to them. Be aware of their presence and ask them when you need help. They're not allowed to interfere. And working hand in hand with them, there's very little in this life that you cannot accomplish. Their dream for you and themselves is that you become not only aware of them, but that you merge your consciousness, your will, your desires with theirs, allowing them to merge theirs with you. And together you are invincible. Your divine essence is increased many, many fold. So to be one with your soul, to be one with your spirit family, to allow them to experience through your physical, mental, and emotional bodies, you create a tremendously beautiful, powerful oneness. And you are a high spiritual being in that state, walking on a physical earth, grounding their beautiful spiritual energy wherever you are and with whatever you are doing. Be one. Allow them to be one with you. This, I believe, is one of the highest and most meaningful, powerful lessons that we are here to learn on planet Earth. And now, as you're ready, you may slowly open your eyes while maintaining contact, emotional, physical, mental contact with your soul and your spirit family. And let them participate through you in this program. And for their help and for your presence, thank you. Thank you. And I'll come back fully invigorated and spiritually renewed.
Wow. Thank you, Carl.
Thank you for letting me do that.
Oh my. We don't, it's a kind of a treat actually to have you do the meditation to guide us through that, because we don't get that very often. And if you don't mind, could we just take a few minutes just to talk about that meditation a bit? Because I have a feeling that those that are in our audience, they may enjoy and also benefit from this little bit of a conversation before we dive into our topic for the evening. There's a phrase that you use that I just love, and that is the heart mind. The heart mind.
Yes.
Yeah, and for those that may be just tuning in, and this is the first time they're seeing our show, could you share with us a little bit about what is the heart mind, so that people can kind of embrace that?
Yes. It is my perspective, and this is based on 40 years of research in the area of death and dying and life after death, that the only thing that dies is our physical body, and that we have a total of 4 bodies. The other 3 bodies are not physical, and they need the physical body to fully experience and express in a physical environment. Thus, we have a physical body made out of the materials of the earth. But living in and through this physical body, we have a mental body.
Mm-hmm.
And our mental body is not our brain. Our brain is what connects us with our mental body. And then we have an emotional body, the ability to feel and express emotions. And that is where the heart connects us with our spiritual body. And those bodies are eternal. And then we have a third non-physical body that we refer to as our soul. And our soul is, from my perspective, a microcosm of the energy and consciousness of the creator of our universe. It's a microcosm of that. And I think for me, that's what the Bible was talking about when it said, and God created humankind in his image and likeness. Mm-hmm. And he repeats it to emphasize the point. In his image and likeness, he created them. So we are made up of 4 bodies, 1 temporary, 3 eternal. Mm-hmm. And we need to, and from my mind, focus most of our attention on the eternal ones, because that's what we live with, and that impacts all of our future lifetimes. Whereas our physical body, I mean, hey, it's here for 50 or 100 years, and then it's out of our life.
Right.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So by merging our physical body with our conscious and subconscious mind, with our mental body and with our emotional body, wow, we're a complete person.
Yes.
So, and if I think we all know people who approach life just working from their head. Mm. And we all know other people who approach life primarily from their heart.
Right.
And that creates challenges for themselves and for significant others in their life, okay? To be balanced is one of the lessons here, and to balance our mental and emotional bodies, our masculine, feminine energies, our conscious and subconscious mind. Everybody benefits, particularly us.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, and in that balance, that's but the balance between the head and the heart, which you call the heart mind. Yes. And I have to say that, experiencing that really does take out all of those, like, it's not a roller coaster anymore, those big dips and highs and lows, and kind of, it doesn't flatten out, but it evens out a bit. So you're still experiencing, but it doesn't have to be chaotic or, those dramatic swings, right?
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. The other thing I liked about that meditation is when you had a sense around us in the room and sensing our soul self, our higher self. Yeah. Because, in our meditations, we don't necessarily do that very often. And to get the opportunity to experience, I don't know, I'm going to ask our audiences how they perceived it for themselves. But, when I turned my attention to that aspect of me, I automatically went to the outside before you said it. And, very tall. And it's like, yeah. And the room certainly filled up when you had us sense our angels and our teachers and our guides. And yeah, I liked it a lot.
Well, Neshi, what I find in my life is I'm living in 2 worlds. I'm living in the spirit world and in the physical world. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I've combined the 2 into one. And combining them makes a world better and greater with higher potential and increases abilities. It just, then either one can be separately. Mm-hmm. So I believe that is the direction, at least I hope it's the direction that humanity is moving in, to connect. And if you're going to have heaven on earth, to me, that has to be that way. Mm-hmm. I mean, in both simultaneously.
Right. I need to check something here with the comments. I'm testing something here because I don't see any comments coming in. And sometimes we have a little bit of a glitchy thing. Nope, there's good. Good. I just wanted to test it because I wasn't seeing anything. I think that's kind of a nice segue into the topic for this evening, and that's about the earth and the sun, and how here on earth, on grandmother Earth, we can't survive here without the sun, right? And so, and I know that from an aspect of being surviving, right? That connection that we have with the sun goes back thousands and thousands and thousands of years, and so we carry a lot of that in the memories of our connection to both the earth and the sun in our blood and our bones from our ancestors. From your perspective, how does that affect us today? I mean, we can talk about the ancestors, the ancient ones, and their connection to the earth and the sun. But for us today in modern time, how does that affect us in our spiritual growth?
Well, you said that the earth could not have life without the sun, and the sun could not have life on the earth without the earth.
That's true.
Okay, it's a cooperative effort here.
Mm-hmm.
And what the sun offers us is the divine energy coming from the creator of the universe, from whom all energy emanates. And the sun steps it down,
Mm-hmm.
so to a level that the life forms on the planet can utilize it as life energy. And the sun comes not, or the energy comes not directly from the universal creator. The energy of all of the suns in our galaxy come from the center sun of the galaxy.
Right.
And the energy to the center sun of the galaxy comes from the central sun of the universe,
Mm-hmm.
which is radiating the energy out of the creator. And because we now know, and this is based on quantum mechanics particularly, but also quantum physics, that everything, including energy, has consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And so what we're receiving is not only the life force energy, but we're allowed to live in a field of divine consciousness and divine energy. And for us to reach the point in this, quote, modern age to recognize that,
Mm-hmm.
okay? I think in the ancients, they weren't, I don't know if they were aware of the universality of consciousness or not. You can answer that perhaps. But now we have scientific proof that it everything, photons, which is a particle of light, subatomic, has consciousness.
Mm-hmm.
And in the experiment, or they call it entanglement, energies whizzing around the earth and the universe, and they have awareness of one another and communicate with one another.
Mm-hmm.
The word is entanglement. Okay, so between the work done in entanglement and the work done in the twin slit experiments, that's where the scientific proof comes from. And they've even proven that subatomic particles, they know what the experimenters are thinking. And when they removed the experimenters, the scientists, from when the experiment was actually done, the results were different. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and what I think that this universality of consciousness is the consciousness of the Creator, and the Christian Church would call it the Holy Spirit.
Oh yes, yeah, 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 yeah. You know, when there's when you're talking about different cultures and different beliefs across grandmother Earth, right? And when you even talk, especially when you talk about indigenous beliefs, there's indigenous people in South America that believe that our sun, as you said, you know, it kind of steps down the energy. I think the scientific term I think it's transducer. Transducer is when they step it down, and that there's more than one sun in our galaxy and in the universe, and they believe in the central sun and going beyond the central sun.
Okay.
And then beyond the central sun is where you have well, we call it a unified field, but they call it, the one.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And it's referred to as the Hunan Kub, and also known as the galactic butterfly. And because when it's put together, it kind of looks like this, right? And in a certain way, it kind of looks like a butterfly the way they have it out. So, sort of similar to the yin yang symbol a little bit. But it is how the universe kind of folds in on itself and becomes one. And that is beyond the central sun. And there's a part of the unity breath meditation that I guide once a month. There's a part in there where we're sending love to Grandfather Sky. And I ask those that are with me to gather all of their love that they have for Grandfather Sky and put it in a beautiful crystal. And with their intention is to send their gift of love up to the sun. There are many, many people that end up sending that gift of love up to the central sun. And so for some of them, they don't even, it's not in their belief system that there's more than one sun. And they'll turn around and they'll send me messages or ask me, is that just my imagination? Is that something that's real? It's like, well, and I tell them that there's many Indigenous people who believe that there is a central sun amongst many, many suns. Yeah. So when you're talking about that, I'm thinking, oh my God, we're so more alike than we are different, really.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say something else about the sun?
Sure.
The sun is the physical body of a soul.
Mm-hmm.
And each soul has a name. The earth is the physical body of the soul that we refer to as Gia. Okay? And the soul of the earth, and I believe the soul of the sun, is functioning at a much higher level than the physical sun or the physical earth.
Mm-hmm.
And the soul of the earth is working in the seventh dimension. Mm-hmm. And the earth is now just crossed into what we would consider to be the fourth dimension. Mm-hmm. And the earth's soul has decided it's had enough of the learning that comes from the negative energies. Mm-hmm. And it has decided it is going to raise itself. And as it raises its vibration and frequency, and we're going through that transition period now where it is raising its frequency, mm-hmm. that is going to affect all life forms on the planet. I don't think anyone would question, but what it's affecting our weather.
I know.
Okay. And it's affecting animal life. We have an unprecedented level of species leaving the earth. Mm-hmm. But what is underreported is that we also have an unprecedented advent of new species appearing on the earth.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. But it's interesting that they won't call it new species. They just say we've just not found this before.
Yes.
But because there's no archaeological record, it has to be new.
Oh my gosh. Well, there's so many different things that went off my head when you said that, especially about the animals. Is that it's been recorded, okay? Photographs, sightings, biologists, all kinds of ists and things like that are the white animals. The white animals. There was a sighting of a white giraffe. There was a sighting of a white crocodile, a white skunk, and a white lion, and a white tiger. And there are so many that people are seeing and actually taking pictures of.
Yes.
And so, I think that has also something to do with the evolution of
Yes.
the planet.
Yes.
And there's a lot of indigenous stories that are related to the white animals and the appearance of the white animals, fulfilling prophecies.
Tell us about that.
Well, the one I think probably everybody knows the most about is the the white buffalo.
Mm-hmm.
And the very first one that was born actually here in Wisconsin, in southern Wisconsin. Miracle was her name. And with the event of the white animals, is that it was a time of coming peace, that that we are going to be able to be in a peaceful coexistence. And so there's other prophecies that go along with that, and the changing of the vibration or the frequency. The Hopi prophecy is about that. And the Sami over in Lapland, the Laplanders, they have prophecies about that. The indigenous people in the Aleutian Islands have been saying for years, trying to tell scientists that Grandmother Earth is changing, and that we needed to, and the stars were changing, that nothing was lining up anymore. And so, yeah. And the white animals are supposed to be like a sign, a symbol of those shifting times. Yeah. Yeah. And what else did you say in that? About the earth and the sun, their soul, their oversoul, if you will, or overlighting body. That we were taught in my family that that the earth is our grandmother. That the first people who came that were created from her body. Their physical body was created from her physical body. And so our physical body actually replicates hers. And so if we have a soul, a higher aspect of ourselves, then so would she.
Yes.
Yeah. And so that makes perfect sense to me. In Potawatomi, it's Kokmiski Kan. Kokmiski Kan means our grandmother Earth. And that she would have a soul, because we're her children. It stands one of those if-then statements, Yeah.
And if the earth is our grandmother,
Mm-hmm.
and we know that we're made out of the minerals and of the earth, our physical bodies are.
Mm-hmm.
And how do you treat your grandmother?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Gently and with love and with compassion and with understanding.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're young, if you need help, who's the first person you go to?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, exactly.
And grandma expresses love so freely.
Mm-hmm.
And my grandmother Earth does too.
We have a few people here that are saying hello. I'd like to let them know. Rochelle says hello to Carl and me.
Hi, Rochelle.
Rochelle is here. And so is Karen. Karen's here too. Karen Phillips says hello. Tina Warbonnet's in the house. Hello, Tina. Tina says, and white porcupine too. I know.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. And actually, I'm trying to track down the lady here in Toma that actually has a picture of a white robin. And my question was, how do you know it was a white robin? And she said, well, it was white and it had a red breast.
Interesting. And it was probably eating worms.
Probably. Yeah, this was 2 years ago. 2 years ago. And so Tina's also saying, I just got a chill on the left side of Neshi, and it means truth. Well, good. Yeah. Good. Thank you for sharing that, Tina. And so we have this symbiotic relationship between Grandmother Earth and the sun. The sun. The central sun. Central sun. So, Carl, when we're talking about the sun. There's another activity that the sun's been doing that a lot of people kind of watch, and those are the solar flares. Have you heard much about those solar flares?
Yes, the the sun has an 11-year cycle,
Mm-hmm.
and the cycle, the output of the sun increases and decreases in this 11-year cycle. Right now, we're in the 7th year of that cycle,
Mm-hmm.
and year one would be the high point. So we should not be at the minimum output, but we are. The sun is. The sun is at its minimum, and this is bringing up as one of the reasons that we've had in this northern hemisphere, we've had such a hellaciously cold winter, with numerous records broken,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't know why the cycle has changed. The scientists don't.
Ah.
And there's been no explanation for that. Now, the Earth is being impacted not only by that, but it's being impacted by the fact that instead of having a smooth rotation where
Mm-hmm.
the axes of the North Pole and South Pole are stable,
Mm-hmm.
those axes are now forming a figure eight each day as they rotate.
Oh.
And if you can imagine the effect that's having on the ocean currents,
Mm.
ocean currents are greatly disturbed, and the ocean currents are a major factor, along with the sun, in creating our weather.
Right.
So, with the disrupted ocean currents and a minimum output from the sun, wow. But at the same time, scientists tell us that the planet is warming because of primarily what we put into the atmosphere.
Mm-hmm.
So we're in and just an unprecedented period where we have planetary warming and planetary cooling going on simultaneously,
Yes.
which creates greater extremes. The
Mm-hmm.
colder, I mean, the temperatures are lower in the winter, they're warmer in the summer. And the distribution of rain around the planet has been disrupted so that there's more, what do you want to call it, a drought, like
Yeah.
they've had in California, the fires and so on. And Australia has lost a significant portion of their cattle.
Yes.
Our cattle herd was decreased by about 25% too.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the food supply and the food crops that are being disrupted, and we are seeing an increase in food prices, and that's probably going to continue.
Mm-hmm.
But this is a part of this raising vibration of the planet. It's part of what we call the ascension process.
Right. Right.
And we're also being told that the earth is receiving these waves of high frequency energy, and they're coming in not only more frequently, but they're coming in with higher levels of frequencies.
Yes.
And we have to adjust to that.
Yes.
And now there's a whole body of a new field of medicine called ascension symptoms. And there's nothing that really that the doctors can do about it except, perhaps make us a little more comfortable.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the thing with these solar flares is that it's the energy of the sun, right? Through the plasma of the sun. It sends out these flares that are huge because they're actually photographed, right, and filmed. And whenever the sun does this in these really large, very very strong frequencies that are being sent, it takes, I can't remember how many days for it to reach the earth. But every time it does that, we're receiving information through the light language, right? And we're also, it's supposed to be helping us with the evolution of our soul and getting us prepared, helping us to prepare for whatever shifts that are coming. Kind of like acclimation in a way. But I tell you what, some of the symptoms of it is that it messes up with our memory. You think you think you remembered something, and it's gone. It's like, where'd it go? And following tracking information is when we're getting upgraded, if you will. It's almost like we're being rebooted, and we're when it's happening, we're limited. We're limited in understanding even information as it comes in verbally. I was a part of a training a few years ago. I think it was in 2012, or was it 2013? Anyway, we were down in Mexico, and Drunvalo was leading us in this. It was a Sufi meditation, and he was trying to explain it to us and how we were supposed to move and that sort of thing. And I tell you what, he finally stopped and said, I don't get it. It's taking us 3 times, 4 times longer to get this done. And somebody said, well, the earth is, we're receiving the energy of the solar flares that were a few days ago. We're talking probably, was it 125 people couldn't get this meditation. It was almost comical, really.
Yeah.
But that was part of the problem. And it's almost like, because it also interferes with electronics.
Yes, very much so.
But really, that a lot of people, they tend to have a fear response around it. And they try to, stay indoors and that kind of thing. Whether you're in your house or outside the house, it doesn't matter.
No, it doesn't matter at all.
It doesn't matter. No. Now, the best thing you can do is be kind to yourself and try not to plan a whole lot of a really heavy day of computer work or anything like that,
Well, also the sun is ejecting from time to time what they call a plasma ejection.
Yes.
Which would be semi-physical matter.
Mm-hmm.
And most of this isn't aimed at the earth because we make a very small target, but sometimes it is. And again, tremendous impact. Mm-hmm. And I agree with you. It's for our benefit, it's not a punishment. Okay?
No, it's not. It's not, and sometimes, when you said, asking our spiritual family for assistance, when we know that this is an event that's going to occur or is occurring, we can turn to our spiritual family and ask them to show me how I can better adjust to this, or how can I receive this more gracefully.
Well, what Ortrun and I do is, this is our morning meditation. The first thing we do in the meditation is we ask our spirit family and our soul to build this protective bubble of white light around us, mm-hmm. and to fill us with the energy of that white light, which is their energy, and to keep the bubble strong throughout the day. And we ask that the only thing that can enter into our bubble of light is that is for our highest good. Mm-hmm. And it is helpful. It's not foolproof, because there are some things that we may not want to receive, but we need to receive for our continued growth and well-being.
That's the fact.
So anyway, but I think it does allow literally that is in the long run for our highest good.
Yeah. I have one of the things that I studied with Drunvalo was the activation of the Merkaba. Mm-hmm. And with your personal Merkaba, we have the ability to program it and to be able to put certain requests in there that, for instance, those solar flares, is to accept them as information coming in and help have my physical body adjust to it, right? Yeah. And so our Merkaba can actually help us to do that. And you're right, just because you have this stable energy field around you that's impenetrable doesn't mean that certain information doesn't get through, because it's needed for our soul growth.
Yes.
And so even though we might deem it or label it as a negative, it's actually meant for our highest good so that we can receive the next life lesson, which is the wisdom that's attached to it, which then equals our soul, more soul growth.
Neshi, I cannot imagine that we can raise our consciousness without it impacting our physical body.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to imagine that our physical body would go through any kind of really significant change without having physical feeling, without impacting us in terms of, well, not only positively, but also in terms of discomfort.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, I don't know if you remember growing pains. Do you remember having growing pains?
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of like that, I think. Although, our bodies were created to last 150 years if we took care of them, right? And if we had the environment to support it, right? And so even though we may not have that kind of environmental support because of what we've done to the earth, we still have. I mean, I'm living with somebody who's going to be 100 in June. So we have the ability to live to that age, but does that mean that our body is strong? Is it healthy? Is it in optimal form?
Yeah. Well, we live in a villa in the winter here in Florida, and there are 4 units in the villa, and I'm 83, and I'm the youngest man in the villas. Which is really, really different.
Here and up in Michigan, you go from being the senior elder in a lot of circumstances, and then you go down to your winter home down in Florida, and you're the youngest guy on
Right. Yes.
That's kind of cool. Oh my gosh. Rochelle said she shared the live stream. Thank you, Rochelle. Thank you for doing that. And also Rowena Puts here. She's saying hello. Hello.
Right.
Yeah, good to have you here, Rowena. As we're sharing about the earth and the sun and their relationship to each other, and also our relationship to them.
Well, Neshi, can I talk a little bit about some of the other earth changes that are taking place?
Yes, please.
Okay. To me, the underlying significance is seen in the increased frequency of the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And the earth was steady at 7.8 hertz. And this is the electrical magnetic energy that radiates from the North Pole, goes out several 100,000 miles into space, and creates a protection around the earth, blocking out some of the negative rays coming off of the sun and so on. And it re-enters through the South Pole.
Mm-hmm.
That now in December hit the highest point it's ever reached. I have not been able to find out what that was, but I know that last February it reached 76 hertz from 7.8.
Wow.
And I'm sorry, that was last May. In February, it for 3 days was steady at 36 hertz. So this is they measure the energy every 10 minutes, and the energy spikes. It's very, very jumpy, and they measure the top of the spike. Okay, and the trend has been upward since 1987.
Right.
And where it's going to peak out, or where it's going to become steady again, we have no idea. But that's because the soul of the earth wants to raise the frequency of its body, and it has called in the help that it needs. And there are other solar systems, the Pleiades, the Andromedans, the Sirians, and so on.
Yeah.
And they are the ones sending some of these waves of energy. And there's been a lot written about the event.
Yes.
Okay. And the event has been described as a humongous wave of light energy. It's been coming towards the Earth for a long period of time from the central sun of our galaxy. And it's only going to pass by. I don't know, 5 minutes, 7 minutes, something like that. It's going to be short, but it's going to penetrate it very, very deeply into the planet, but also into our consciousness.
Yes.
And it is going to, for those that are open to receive this, who are ready to receive this, who I'm going to say are on the ascension path, they're going to be literally uplifted and changed in significant ways. For those that are not ready to receive it, I think it's probably going to be very difficult for them to deal with. And it's going to be difficult for them to deal with the people that have increased because of it, and they did not. The gap between them is going to become greater. And because that's going to raise even higher the frequency of the earth, can you imagine living on a planet in a body that's not at harmony with the planet? So I think that's going to have some effect on the longevity of the people that we're not ready for.
Yeah.
But for those that were, because they're more in harmony with the planet, their longevity will likely be increased.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that as two-leggeds, as humans, we try to wrap our mental mind around something to understand it, and we look for the logic to bring it in to truly to understand it, right? And I think that when we talk about this piece, I think a lot of people go, "What?" And then they go into a fear mode because they want to make sure that their loved ones are going to be where they're going to be, right? And it's hard for people, I think, to imagine, how is this going to work? How is this going to happen? Because in our mental mind, we've never experienced anything like that before. Although at a soul level, I think we do know how it could be. It could be. It's almost as if you believe in parallel lives, if you believe in different spiritual realms or dimensions, basically we're already doing that when we're shifting between the third and fourth dimension, and some people from the fourth to the fifth dimension. We're already doing that. We just don't have a physical concept of it. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I put it in a little different terms. I think we're all on a timeline. The planet's on a timeline. And I think as we're going through the ascension process, we're living in two simultaneous timelines, a foot in both. And as they're going to reach a point where they're going to split, and it could be that's going to be the significance of the event, that instead of living in two timelines, we'll now be living in one, and those who have not ascended will be living in another. And whether this means that we're physically separated from them or not, or whether the lower part of ourself will stay with the third dimension, the fifth dimensional part of us will raise up. I don't know how it's going to manifest.
Yeah.
But I know that there is a plan, and I trust the people, the beings that have designed the plan.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, because technically, I don't even know if I can use that word, but there's an aspect of us that have a connection to the beings that are doing the planning, that happen the planning. Otherwise, we wouldn't be here in a physical body experiencing this. Right? It's almost like, some people say they volunteered to come, right? And others said that they've been planning it for a long time to come back. At any rate, I do believe many of our souls, were at the fall of Atlantis. And that since we had that experience, that we're here at this time frame, so that we can help to make different kind of decisions than were made in that experience.
That could well be. That makes a lot of sense to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm wondering, are there any questions or comments that those listening would like to voice?
Yeah, we have actually one here. Tina says, very interesting. I love accumulated knowledge and wisdom. Thanks to you both. Yeah. So, what we're talking about is sometimes it can get kind of convoluted, just a little bit. And Mark is saying, yes, I knew I felt I was in two timelines.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And I have to say, Mark, that my experience has been is like I think I felt like I already did this already. Didn't I? Wait a minute. I'm sure I experienced this one already, and I'll explain it to Paul, and he goes, "No, we haven't done that yet." Why do I feel like I've already done this?
Because
It's like
you're in a different timeline.
exactly. No wonder why I'm always tired.
But I think the bottom line here for us is we have to evolve our own self, our own soul, and to focus our attention and our energy on raising our consciousness to the highest possible level.
Yes.
As we do that, we are going to be positively impacting the people around us. We are going to be helping to raise the collective consciousness of humanity.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to be able to ground more of this high energy coming into the earth itself. And everybody wins.
Mm-hmm.
If we focus on the things of the world, I think we're going to miss the train here. And it's going to be so sad.
Mm-hmm.
So spiritual growth is number one.
Mm-hmm.
And everything else is secondary to that.
Yes. Yes. Tina is saying, me too. In dream time, it's weird. I'll say that again. And Mark is saying, yes, exclamation several times. Now, here's one, because I totally agree with you. I totally agree with you that when we're being distracted by some of the chaos that's happening out there, right? Politics and such, that it would draw us away from what we're the most important work, I think. And this is something I think that we talk a great deal about here at Star Nations, and that is to do your own healing work, your own personal healing, your healing those past traumas, those emotional and mental traumas, so that you can have more access to your gifts that you came in with, more access to your intuition, because what that leads to is you have you trust yourself a whole heck of a lot more in your decision making and being grounded, right? Being grounded to the work that you're doing. So, Carl, if you had the ability to give one really good piece of advice or tip or suggestion in how to keep your eye on the prize, right? Your own healing work, your own spiritual work. What would you suggest to our audience? What would that be?
Daily meditation, and in your meditation, contact as fully and completely as you can with your own soul and your own spirit family.
Mm-hmm.
Ask their help for whatever growth you want to work on that day.
Mm-hmm.
Do the same thing as you're going to sleep at night.
Yeah, I agree. Because not only is it comforting to know that you're not alone and that you have help, but you also are calmer about things because you are in that frequency of your meditation. And if you do that twice a day, you're covered 12 hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Tina is saying something else here. She's saying, I realize that also that I'm being spiritly led and to heal all of me within because of a purpose which I don't know. Oh, that's a good way to put it, Tina.
Yeah.
You might not know in your conscious mind, your mental mind, but your soul knows.
Tina, I want to bounce a possible answer off of you. What they're trying to help you accomplish is for you to reach the point where you can maximize your potential. And to me, what that means is you have reached a level where you become one with your divine soul. And Jesus stated it this way. He said, "My Father and I are one." And to me, that means he had become one with the divine presence within himself, his soul.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, "I'm not the one that's doing the work. It's the Father through me." And when you achieve that level, you will be able to do all that he did and even greater.
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that specifically for you, but I'm saying that as a general statement for all of us. I think it's one of the highest lessons that we can learn here on earth. And by becoming one with our soul, can you imagine the potential that we would have?
I know.
And if we want to create heaven on earth, I don't know of any other way to do it except that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And honestly, our spiritual family, our spiritual team can't do it for us.
That's correct.
They're not here experiencing this in the physical body. We are. And so expecting them to make it easier for us or to take it on for us and we get to sit back and watch, that's not how it works.
They would gain the learnings, not us.
I know. And I have to say that those that are on our in our spiritual families and our spiritual teams, that they love us so much. They really do, and that this was in one of the daily live streams I didn't do one today. I think it was yesterday. And I was sitting with them in the morning when I was doing the card draw, and and they were saying that that the challenge for them is to watch me or us struggle with something and not ask for their help.
Yes, I absolutely agree with that. It's the most foolish thing we can do.
Yeah. It's true. But what they were sharing with me is that that they have compassion for us. And so when they watch us struggle and we do it over and over and over again, that they want to reach in and but they can't. They would love to be able to say, do it this way. But without us asking, they can't do that. And so that's the challenge for them, is to be patient and wait for us to finally surrender and say, okay, I need your help.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right. So Tina's responding to you. She said, I had past affirmations of this, did not know then, but getting there to understand.
Tina, you're getting wiser, and as I would like to hope all of us are.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yeah. And Mark is saying, I tend to meditate at night before I go to bed.
Good.
But not as much during the day. Feel more like I reflect through the day. I pray through the day and I have direct line to God that I cherish, but not meditating early. Am I shorting myself?
No, you're not. You're doing what fits in with your lifestyle. And please, when you say you're praying during the day to God, well, the only thing that exists in the universe is God. The creator, the whole universe in my mind is the presence of God. And the ones that you're really praying to are your spirit family, and they are the ones that answer your prayers. And what I've learned is that prayers can be most effective if you address them to the one that can make the change or do what you want done. Mm-hmm. In weather, if you want weather to change, you talk to the air divas. Mm-hmm. Don't pray to God. Pray, talk, go into meditation and talk to the air divas and ask them for what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We have to remember that in the next polar vortex thing.
Or here in Florida, when the next hurricane hits this way.
Yeah, exactly.
Or in Michigan, when the next ice storm is coming in.
Right, right. So, hey, Kimberly Griffiths is here. And Kimberly is one of our longtime audience members here. She actually is from Scotland, and she's asking, can I ask a question, please, with the ascension? Some people will remain in third dimension state of mind. Some will ascend to the fourth, and some to higher dimensions. This all depends on our spiritual growth and where we are on our spiritual journey.
That is correct, based on my understanding.
Mm-hmm.
How about you, Neshi?
Yes. There's a term that's kind of gotten to be more of a cliche, I guess, because we're using it so much. But that's, the people who have woken or are becoming awake. There was a whole wave of people, I think, that woke up in the last couple of years, that because there's such stark contrast between a lower vibration and a higher vibration out there in the 3D, right? But I think that there'll be some people who choose not to wake up for whatever their reason is, and I do believe that the dimension or the realm that we find ourselves existing in has much to do with the kind of work that we've done for our soul growth.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah. So you're spot on, Kimberly. You're spot on. So we are at the top of the hour already.
Yes.
Already. Oh my goodness. Okay, so Carl, any last words for our audience?
I want to say thank you for being here, because you are a part of the solution. And please keep your chakras open as wide as you can. Practice working out of your heart mind. Work closely with your spirit family and soul, and follow their guidance and ask for their help when you need it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've got a couple of things. One is, yes, thank you to everybody was with us this evening in the live show. And for those that are watching the recorded video, thank you so much. And we also ask that you share and like the broadcast as well, even though you're watching the recorded. The other thing is that is to know that we're loved. We have so much assistance from the entire universe, from our relatives up in the stars. We have the entire creation wanting to help us, and so we're not alone. We're not alone, and so asking for help, meditating, everything that we talked about tonight, and I really do believe that that doing your own soul healing, your emotional and mental traumas, has a much bigger impact than you could even think of.
Yes.
So, and if you ever need help with any of that, we have plenty of teachers and healers here at Star Nations. Let us know, right in the comments, get a hold of us. And we have lots of different classes, and some of us have books that are really good books to be able to turn to. We have an author sitting right here in front of us. And so enjoy, but we're here to enjoy life too.
Can I put in a little plug?
Sure.
The book that I just wrote is Earth's Ascension, Nibiru in the Spirit Realm. Mm-hmm. And it will go into much greater detail in what the Earth is going through, among other things. Mm-hmm. Plus, we'll talk about the divas and the angels and the crystal and indigo children and 13 topics altogether. Mm-hmm. So If you want it, you can get it on Amazon, or you can go on our website,
Yes.
Our Spiritual Ascension, and order it there.
And we'll get those links in the comment section for you after the show is done. I'll put them in for you. So with that, enjoy the rest of your evening, your Thursday evening, and we'll see you back here for the Mystery School next month, and enjoy another spiritual conversation. Carl, thank you so much for being with us tonight.
It's my privilege, and I wish you all a very, very happy month of March.
Yes, and good healing energy going to Ortrun. Lots of love going her way.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody.